66-year-old is country's 17th COVID-19 fatality. Banks to grant 6 months moratorium on all loans by individuals and SMEs.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear fellow Malaysians, please abide by the movement control order imposed by my government. Don't leave home if there are no pressing matters. Don't balik kampung unless if it's an emergency. This movement control order is imposed to ensure the safety and the well-being of every Malaysian, as we are now facing a serious threat from the outbreak of COVID-19 virus infection. It is a deadly virus. Do not gather or attend any social activities outside your home. My government has guaranteed sufficient stocks and supplies of all essential items throughout these 2-week restrictions, so there is no need for panic buying. I call upon every Malaysian to be responsible and not spread fake news and cause unnecessary panic among us. Please observe your personal hygiene, wash your hands frequently, use hand sanitizer and face masks, stay safe and practice social distancing, and drink lots of water. We will get through this together as Malaysian, as one country. This is the time for us to be strong and persevere. It is better for all of us to be safe than sorry. Inshallah, we shall prevail.
Welcome to Updates at Noon. I'm Brenda Lipal. Now, Datuk Dr. Noor Hisham also called on Malaysians not to stigmatize and blame those who attended the tabligh gathering after several COVID-19 deaths were linked to the events. Now, he said that it was more vital to focus on tracing and treating the infection among the tabligh attendees, their families and close contacts.
Janganlah kita persalahkan jemaah tabligh. Janganlah kita diskriminasikan jemaah tabligh. Janganlah kita stigmakan jemaah tabligh. Apa yang penting adalah kita membantu mengesan dan mengawal jangkitan COVID-19 di kalangan jemaah tabligh dan kontak mereka.
Yesterday, the Health Ministry recorded a total of 106 new COVID-19 cases, bringing the total number to 1,624 cases. Datuk Seri Dr. Noor Hisham said that from the total, 43 cases are linked to the tabligh cluster Masjid Jamik in Seri Petaling. Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin today announced that local banks will offer moratorium or deferment of all loan and financing repayments for a period of 6 months, beginning this April for individuals as well as small and medium enterprises, SMEs. The Premier said the decision was made after holding a series of discussions with the Finance Ministry and Bank Negara Malaysia. He said this is part of the Central Bank's new measures to assist borrowers experiencing temporary financial constraints due to the COVID-19 outbreak. The Central Bank said banking institutions should provide individuals and SME borrowers with adequate information on how the suspended loan or financing repayments will be treated during the moratorium period. The automatic moratorium is applicable to ringgit-denominated loans or financing that are not in arrears exceeding 90 days as at 1st April 2020. The moratorium does not apply to credit card balances. For outstanding credit card balances, Bank Negara said customers should be offered the options to convert the outstanding balances into term loan of not more than 3 years. Tan Sri Muhyiddin also said that the government is looking to come out with a more comprehensive economic stimulus package to reduce the financial burden of the people. A total of 85 cases of fake news related to COVID-19 are currently being investigated. Now, Senior Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob said 6 of them have already been charged in court.
Jadi kepada yang gemar menyiarkan berita palsu, gemar share berita palsu kepada rakan-rakan yang lain. Jadi saya harap tolong hentikan.
Meanwhile, Communications and Multimedia Minister Dato' Saifuddin Abdullah, in his official Twitter page, said all the suspects were being investigated under Section 233 of the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998. He also said that the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, MCMC, and PDRM will continue to work together through the Cybercrime Committee to address the ongoing dissemination of fake news, especially on COVID-19, that can mislead and create anxiety among Malaysians. Prior to this, Dato' Saifuddin said whoever makes, publishes or circulates statements, rumour or reports with intent to cause or likely to cause fear or alarm to the public could be charged under Section 505, subsection B of the Penal Code and face an imprisonment of up to 2 years or a fine or both if found guilty. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry will recall about 3,000 retired nurses and medical officers to help deal with the COVID-19 outbreak in the country.
Kita dah ada kenal pasti seramai 3,000 staff, contohnya staff nurse yang telah pension dan akan kembali untuk membantu Kementerian Kesihatan. Jadi kita nama dah ada, tapi kita tengah dalam urusan untuk pengambilan staff-staff tersebut.
Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin had announced that the government had allocated 100 million ringgit for the Health Ministry to appoint staff, especially nurses, on a contract basis to help combat the pandemic. The Health Ministry is also in the process of mobilizing its personnel from other states to areas with higher numbers of COVID-19 cases. Now, the Royal Malaysian Armed Forces, ATM, and the Royal Malaysian Police, PDRM, have started utilizing unmanned aerial vehicle drones, or UAV, in surveillance operations at several hotspots. Now, Armed Forces Chief General Tan Sri Effendi Buang said the drone technology will increase the efficiency of surveillance operations as proven by the Chinese authorities recently.
Tempat tu kita rasa di mana ada kumpulan-kumpulan masih lagi berdegil. Of course, buat masa ni kita tak boleh nak buat satu Malaysia ni, tetapi kita buat targeted area lah yang kita rasa yang patut kita lakukan. Dengan ini kita berharap kita punya operasi kawalan pergerakan ini dapat dijalankan dengan lebih efisien dan dengan berharap kita punya KPK ini sentiasa berada di tahap yang tinggi.
Tan Sri Effendi also added that surveillance operation involving the army has been running smoothly and has received positive response from the public. Quote unquote, we need to buy food. Now, this was the most popular excuse given by the people when they were stopped by police at roadblocks around Shah Alam and Petaling Jaya. Now, RTM sent its crew to several areas in Shah Alam and Petaling Jaya, where police set up roadblocks and found out that many still failed to abide by the Movement Control Order, MCO. Shah Alam Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Baharudin Mat Taib advised the public to change their attitude and mindset and follow the ruling under the MCO.
Sungai Rasau, yang mana jumlah kenderaan di sana amat banyak, amat banyak. Jadi kita terpaksa buka 2 lane daripada 1 lane SJR, kita buka 2 lane SJR. But still, di sana daripada pagi, tengah hari, petang dan malam memang banyak kenderaan. Saya percaya mungkin dalam pukul 11 kenderaan akan berkurang di sana. So persoalan dia, cuba cari jawapan. Kenapa masih ramai masyarakat ataupun kenderaan berada di jalan raya?
ACP Baharudin, however, noted that there were no unwanted incidents of aggressive behaviours from motorists who were stopped at the various roadblocks. Police set up roadblocks at 9 to 11 locations, with 3 of them considered as hot spots during the MCO period. Kereta Api Tanah Melayu Berhad KTMB has urged all passengers who had boarded the number 9173 electric train service ETS coach to go to the nearest hospital for health screening if they have symptoms of COVID-19. Now, this comes after one of the passengers who boarded the train from Butterworth to KL Central Station on the 7th of March had tested positive for COVID-19. KTMB Chief Executive Officer Datuk Kamarul Zaman Zainal said all of its staff who were working in the train and affected station have been instructed to undergo health screenings. He said KTMB had immediately suspended the services on the stations for sanitization purposes. Datuk Kamarul Zaman said KTMB had also sanitized all ETS train coaches for the safety of its passengers and workers. The Kedah state government will be addressing the problems faced by hawkers, fishermen, farmers and rubber tappers as their incomes have been badly affected by the movement control order. Now, Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Mukris Tun Mahathir said several initiatives are being worked out to help this group.
Masyarakat yang pendapatan harian termasuklah penjaja, peniaga kecil, nelayan, penoreh getah. Jadi kita nak pastikan bahawa mereka terus dapat cari makan. Mata pencarian mereka itu masih lagi berterusan. Ada beberapa masalah tapi kita cuba nak selesaikan.
The Johor Darul Takzim JDT Football Club has conducted sanitization works at its training ground in Padang Seri Gelam as part of efforts to combat the COVID-19 virus. Through its Facebook page, the club's owner, Tunku Ismail Sultan Ibrahim, had directed all facilities owned by the club, including its gymnasium, dressing room and areas around the pitch, to be sanitized on a regular basis. The process was conducted by a company in Johor using German-made product, proven to have been successful in warding off several kinds of virus, including COVID-19. The act was well received, especially by supporters of the club, many citing the measure as proactive. Before the Malaysian Super League was temporarily halted due to the virus, JDT was leading the table with 10 points after 3 wins and 1 draw. With that, we conclude today's updates at noon. A reminder of our top story: banks to grant 6 months moratorium on all loans by individuals and SMEs to relieve burden on businesses and households. Now, before we go, here's a gentle reminder: don't forget to wash your hands regularly, practice social distancing, and most of all, let's adhere to the movement control order and just stay at home. News on 2 comes on at 7 this evening. Till then, I'm Brendan Lipol. Thanks for watching.